Let's talk about how to build trust through your website. Most people do not decide to trust a business based on one thing, right? It's not because you have a perfect headline or a beautiful photo or one strong testimonial on your website. Trust is usually built in layers, and it's all the things combined that add up that helps build that trust between you and your potential clients when they're interacting with your website. It comes from the way that your website explains your offers and your services, how easy it is to navigate and move through your website, whether the information feels current and up to date, whether your business feels real, like it's an actual business, and whether that next step or that first step feels very simple and easy to do. For small businesses, this matters because your website is going to do a lot of that early heavy lifting for you in the credibility department, right? It may be the first place that someone comes to engage with you and your brand after they've gotten a referral or they found you on social media or another platform outside of your website. So the question is not only, does my website look good? The better question is, do most people feel confident enough to keep moving forward, right? To take that next step, to follow that path that we're sending them down on the website. In this video, I want to talk through a few practical elements that can help your business build trust quickly without needing to redesign everything from scratch. Number one, remove small moments of doubt. Trust doesn't only come from the big sections on your website, right? It's a lot of little things that add up and comes from the small details that either make someone feel assured or make them pause and take a moment, right? So when they land on your website, they're looking for signals. Is this business active? Does the service match what I need? Do they explain things that feels helpful? Is it understandable? And can I quickly understand where to go next? Every time someone who's interacting with your website comes across a missing detail, something that's outdated or confusing, that doesn't create clarity for them, that can kind of add up and make someone potentially hesitate and, question, do I trust this business? Is this the right fit for me? A good website reduces those areas of doubt and that friction early on. It gives the visitors enough context to feel like they're in the right place without making them dig through 5 pages of content to figure that out. So this can be as simple as reviewing your homepage and asking, what would a first-time visitor still be unsure about after spending 30 seconds on my website? That answer usually shows where the trust is being lost. Number 2, does your website feel current? You don't have to follow every single design trend, but it does need to feel maintained, right? We want to make sure that the garden that is our website feels like it's being tended to. So anything like outdated fonts or broken links, old team photos, maybe old teammates who are no longer part of your company, abandoned blogs or collections like that, or if there's a page that feels very different and misaligned from all the other pages, those little things can create doubt. Even if your business is excellent, your website, if it's having some of these problems, might feel a little less active and a little less professional. So for small to medium-sized business websites, this can usually be improved quickly. You want to review all the main pages on your website and ask yourself, does the design still reflect how the business looks today? Are the services accurate? Are the photos and the examples current? Do all the buttons and the forms work? Does the mobile version feel easy to use? People often use the quality of your website as a shortcut for the quality of your business. That's not always fair, but that's how digital trust works. Number 3, show proof, but make it useful. Trust also comes from evidence, right? So we're talking about testimonials, reviews, case studies, client logos, certifications, before and after examples, a portfolio work. All of that can be helpful, but the key is to make it super specific. So a testimonial that says, great company, great experience, right? That's nice to hear, but that doesn't tell the visitor much. It lacks that context, right? Using testimonials that can show how a problem was solved, or a before and an after, or what the process felt like, that's so much more helpful and so much more impactful because it provides context to the potential next customer. Same goes for your case studies. They don't need to be long, but a simple section that can kind of sum up the challenge, the approach, and the solution, that can help people understand how you think and how you work through problems. So that also gives them a peek into this is what it would be like for me, working with this client or working with this potential business. And so for service businesses especially, proof should answer all of the questions that your future clients are thinking about. Like, have you helped someone like me? Do you understand this type of problem? Do you work with people in this industry? Can I trust you to guide the process? So the more your website can answer those questions, the easier it becomes for someone to take that next step. Number 4, explain your process. A lot of businesses talk about what they do and what they offer and what their services are, but don't really explain how working with them actually works. And this matters because uncertainty can really slow people down. If someone's considering reaching out and maybe they're wondering like, well, if I fill out this form or if I take this next step, what happens next, right? Will I get a sales pitch? How long will the process take? What do I need to prepare? Who will I talk to? Simple like next steps or process breakdown can reduce that friction. So for an example, maybe your call to action is to book a consultation, right? So that's step 1, but then we want to fill in what's going to happen afterwards. Next, we review your goals and your current website. Then we'll recommend a clear plan based on your needs. Then we build, refine, and launch your business website with your business goals and need. So that kind of structure makes the experience feel a little bit easier, a little more predictable, and people trust businesses that can understand, like, you're helping me understand what comes next. Like, you're making me feel comfortable and confident in taking this next step because you're setting expectations for me. Number 5, add a human element. People want to know that there are real people, real humans behind the business. And so this doesn't mean that every single website has to have a huge team page or a personal founder story, but that does mean that you don't want your business to feel like there's no one actually at the helm or there's no one that they're going to interact with, right? So a few simple additions can make a big difference. So things like a real photo or a short founder story or a team introduction. It could be a section that's written a little bit differently with language that sounds like it's written like a note from the founder or from the owner to the website visitor. And this is especially important for small businesses because trust is often one of their biggest advantages, right? Like, you're building those personal relationships with your clients. So larger companies can have scale, but smaller businesses, we often create that stronger sense of connection with the clients that we're engaging with. Number 6, last but definitely not least, we want to make sure that the call to action is easy to understand. Trust can break down at the very end of the process if that next step is unclear. So your call to actions should be very direct, right? And specific and related to what they are actually doing. So instead of using kind of vague language like submit or learn more, that tells people, like, let's use language that tells people exactly what they're doing. So like book a consultation, request a website review, talk through your website goals, get a project estimate. All of this helps the user understand the level of commitment when they're taking that next step. A consultation feels different from a purchase. A review feels different from a quote. The clearer the CTA, the easier it is for someone to act. And CTA, call to action. All this to say, building trust through your website is not about adding more everywhere. It's about making the right things easier to see, to understand, and to believe. We want clear messaging, current design, real proof, a simple process, a human presence, and a direct next step. These elements help your website do more than look professional. They help your visitors feel confident enough to move forward. If your website is getting traffic, but it's not turning enough visitors into conversations, it may be time to look at where that trust is breaking down. At High Pro, we help businesses improve with strategy, messaging, design, and visibility behind their digital presence so your website can work harder for you. Book a consultation with us. We've got a link down in the description, and we can walk through your website goals together.